All right, everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about factoring. It's going to be our first day. This is kind of a new topic for us, but we've been preparing for it the last couple of days here, so hopefully we should kind of be all set and ready to go. So when we look at factoring, a couple of things you want to know about factoring is that when we have something like this, factoring, it kind of takes an addition problem. I call this like an addition or subtraction problem, and it's going to turn it into a multiplication problem. Now, the main way we're going to talk about factoring is by using that x that we were working on before. So here's how this is going to work. We're going to take whatever number is at the very end. That positive 10, that's going to be the number that's going to go on top of our x. The negative 7 or the minus 7 that sits in the middle there, that's going to be the number that's going to go on the bottom. And what we're going to look for is we're just looking for two numbers that are going to multiply to be the top number and add to be the bottom number. Now, when I come over there, first two numbers that come to my mind, you can make the list if you like making that list. But the two numbers that come to my mind are like 5 and 2. Now, 5 times 2 do multiply to give me a positive 10, but they don't multiply to give me a negative 7. So if you just think back, remember that if you have a negative 5 and a negative 2, that would multiply to still give me a positive 10, and negative 5 plus a negative 2 would actually end up equaling negative 7, right? The side numbers are the ones we work for. Those are the ones we work so hard to get. So those actually end up being our answer. Now, they're not our answer like they were before, where this was good enough. What you need to do then is come over here, and you're going to draw two sets of parentheses that are kind of big. Now, in the first parenthesis, you're going to come over here and you're going to put A and A. Now, we only have one A in these situations, so we can put a 1 in front of each of them. This is going to be the same for everything we do today and everything we do tomorrow. Now, in the first one, we had negative 5, so we can put negative 5 right there, and we can put negative 2 right there. So our answer to this problem will be 1A minus 5 and 1A minus 2. Now, for your homework submission, when you get to Schoology and you're turning these in, this is what it's going to look like. There's going to be a blank A minus blank, blank A minus blank. So you just need to sit there and put the right number in the right spot. Okay, so let's look at problem number 2. Here's problem number 2. Now, this one right away, we see something strange. This middle term, the one that gives us our bottom value, does not have a number in front of it. So we're going to put a 1 to hold that spot. So I need to have negative 6 go up top. That's my multiply number. And I need to have positive 1 go on the bottom. Now I'm looking for two numbers that are going to multiply to give me a negative 6, that are going to add to give me a positive 1. Now, if you're like, man, I struggle with these numbers, Block, then you come over here and you start making your list, right? And the way you make your list is you just use your calculator. Take whatever your top number is. Don't worry about the negative. Say divided by 1. That means 1 goes in 6 times. Top number divided by 2. You just start counting up. 2 goes in 3 times. Top number divided by 3. 3 goes in 2 times. Our list flip-flops. Now we just got to figure out which one works. Now, you can either guess check this or you can start to think about it. I think I'm going to try the 2 and the 3 because they're about 1 apart. Now, since they multiply to be a negative number up there, I know one of them has to be negative. Now, if the 2 was negative, then it would be like positive 3 minus 2. That would give me a 1, so that would work. Or negative 3 or 2 plus 3 would give me a 1, so that would work. So once I find the numbers that work, the two side numbers, right, then I'm going to draw my two parentheses. Whatever my variable is, the variable that goes in front. Since we have one of each of those, we're going to put 1 here and 1 there. And then we're going to say minus 2 and plus 3. And that will be our answer. Let's look at problem number 3. Looking at problem number 3, we start by making our x. This number goes up top. This number goes on the bottom. We are looking for the two side numbers that are going to multiply to give me a positive 12 and that are going to add to give me a positive 7. Now, again, if you make your list, it should start to look like this. That's where the flip-flop will happen, so we can stop. Which two of those numbers add up to 7? Well, this one's easy to see. We don't even need to play with the positive or negative signs. 3 and 4. That's a positive 3 and a positive 4 would multiply to give me a positive 12. Positive 3 plus positive 4 would give me a positive 7. Now, in this problem, our variable was a. So I'm going to have an a and an a. And we have one of each of those. And then in the first one, I'm going to say plus 3. And in the second one, I'm going to say plus 4, and this will be my answer. Now, if you sat there and you wrote it and you had 1a plus 4 and 1a plus 3, that's the exact same thing. So don't worry about it if you got it in that little bit of a different order. Let's look at problem number 4. Using k's this time. So now we're going to make our x. Positive 4 goes up top. Negative 4 goes on the bottom. I need two numbers that multiply to give me a positive 4 that are going to add to give me a negative 2. Now, I know 2 times 2 equals 4, which is good, but they don't add to give me negative 4. So think about it. If you made them both negative, negative 2 times negative 2 multiplied together would still equal a positive 4, so that one works. And then negative 2 plus negative 2 would equal negative 4, so that one works. Once you get your numbers, then you're going to draw your parentheses. Our variable here is k. I have 1k here and 1k there. I'm going to minus 2 and minus 2 because that's what my side numbers were, which make those my answer. Let's look at number 5. Ooh, there's a big number. This one will be a little tougher, but I think we can handle it. Come over here, make your x. Positive 42 goes up top. Positive 13 goes on the bottom. Now, when we come over there, I think we should make a list. So 42. Remember, you can do this on any problem. 42 divided by 1 means 1 goes in 42 times. 42 divided by 2 means 2 goes in 21 times. 42 divided by 3 means 3 goes in 14 times. 42 divided by 4 is a decimal. We don't need to put it on our list. 42 divided by 5 is a decimal. We don't need to put it on our list. 42 divided by 6 is 7. And 42 divided by 7 is going to give us 6, which means we flip-flopped and we're done. Now, looking at these numbers, we're looking for two numbers on there that are going to add up to be 13. Now remember, we might need to play with our signs, but in this one, actually, doesn't 6 plus 7 equal 13? So if this was a positive 7 and a positive 6, I think that would work. Positive 6 times positive 7 is 42, 6 times 7, and positive 6 plus 7 is 13. So it works for both of them. So x is our variable here. So we're going to make our parentheses. We have 1x in each of them, plus 6, plus 7. That is our answer. So if you're good with the x, this should be, hopefully, really, really easy for you. Let's do a couple more quick. So coming over here, we have positive 14 and negative 9. Now, you can already come over here and start filling this out. You know it's going to be r. You know it's going to be r. You know you're going to have 1. You know you're going to have 1. Now, we just need to find the two side numbers that multiply to be a positive 14 that add to give us a negative 9. Now, if it's a positive 14, right, if I notice they multiply to be a positive number, but the bottom number's negative, that means my two numbers have to both be negative. So, what numbers multiply to be 14? Let's try 2 and 7. 2 times 7 would give us 14. Well, didn't I just say they had to be negative? 2 plus 7 would give us a positive 9. But if they're both negative, negative 2 plus 7 will give us a negative 9, which is what we want. So, 1r minus 2, 1r minus 7, and you're done. Great job. Here's another one. Coming over there, let's make your x. Positive 21 goes up top. 21, not 12. Negative 10 goes on the bottom. Look at this one. Same situation, guys. Two numbers that multiply to a positive, but they add to a negative. That means both of our numbers have to be negative. So what numbers multiply to 21? How about 3 and 7? Do they add to negative 10? Yeah, they do. So we're good. So we can finish the problem. Remember, we'll have 1n and 1n minus 3 and minus 7. Great job. Let's do one last one together, number 8. So on this problem, positive 2 goes up top, negative 3 goes on the bottom. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to be 2 that add to be negative 3. Again, if it's a positive up top and a negative on the bottom, the only way that can happen is if they're both negative. So how about a negative 2 and a negative 1? Would that work? Yep, we got it. So now let's write it out. So n minus 2, or 1n minus 2, and 1n minus 1. Just like that. This is what we call factoring, ladies and gentlemen, right? We're turning an addition problem into a multiplication because these are multiplied together, these terms. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're struggling with this at all, please don't hesitate to let me know. Thanks, guys.